G'day guys, welcome back to Tradio Podcast, proudly powered by TradeTools. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Brad. I myself am a tradie, but I've recently hung up the tool belt to bring you guys podcasts and videos courtesy of TradeTools. So in this podcast, I interview tradies and people at different stages in their careers and from all walks of life. So whatever you're doing today, whether you're flat out or just kicking back, we'd like to say thanks for listening to Tradio and enjoy. All right, here we are with Corey from True Vision Tiling. Yeah, he does some awesome work on Insta. I'm sure you guys can go and have a look.
Find me all over it.
Young bloke, hey? How old are you?
24. Yeah, 24, 25 in July.
And True Vision Tiling is your business, hey?
Yep.
Owned and operated, you and the missus?
Yeah, no, it's been pretty good. Started about 3 years ago. Just wanted a bit of a change. Always wanted to work for myself, but...
So what, you've always done tiling since you were young?
Yeah, like all my family are kind of tilers on my dad's side. Yep. So I've got like 7 family members that are tilers. All
really?
Cousins, yeah, like my grandfather, my dad, my uncle, cousins.
It's in the blood, mate.
It's in the blood, all on my Italian side of the family.
Righto, okay.
Yeah, and I hated school. Like, I didn't really do well in school. So Dad would always take me and I'd go and do grouting for him. And then, one day he said to me, I overheard him saying, "Oh, he's just as good as a bloody third-year apprentice." And I was like, I don't know how old I was. I would have been like 12 years old or something. I was like, I'm going to be a gun. So I just kind of took that and ran with it. Didn't really want to be a tiler. Always kind of just wanted out because the whole family were tilers and their whole perception on it was like, oh, you never make money being a tiler. Yeah, right. It's kind of just one of those just hard,
get up and do jobs. It because that's what we do, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
But so I've done a bunch of different jobs. I've done heaps of different things, pallet racking.
So with the pallet rack, and what were you doing there? Like,
I was like you could say supervisor. The company was quite small. Yeah. It was a girlfriend's friend's dad that owned the company. Yep. And he pretty much just said, come over, do this. And literally my first job was a Bunnings warehouse.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and it was like, there was like 30
massive,
guys.
Right. So yous are all going in and installing it.
And there was like 30 guys and I was pretty much, it was night shift and I was running the job straight away. And no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. That's life, mate. Just fake it till you make it. Just guess your way through everything.
Basically.
That's exactly what parenthood is too. It's just a bunch of guesses, one after the other. And
yet to experience, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Yep.
But I did that and I kind of just liked, being sort of in control of the job and having that role. And so I always wanted to be like, own my own business, but I never knew what I was going to do.
Your own boss sort of thing,
Never knew what I was going to do. Still don't. Like, even though I do own this business, I still want to expand, do stuff, elsewhere and,
for sure.
and try different things. Yeah, so it's kind of when I got into doing the tornado potatoes.
Right. So I heard mention of this just earlier. Yeah. Tornado potatoes. So in my mind, this is them spirally potatoes, right? Yeah. I've never actually eaten one. Yeah. I've seen them heaps and I thought, God, they look good.
Oh, they're good.
I've never eaten one.
Yeah. Oh, you got to have one.
So you had a stall that made tornado potatoes.
Yep.
How long did you do that for?
So we did that for like a bit over a year, I think. And it was kind of around the time that I was working at this pallet racking place. Yeah. Like before that, I was doing some asphalt work here and there, did some other stuff, got into that. And then when I was like, I want to do something for myself. Yeah. And I was trying to figure out what I could do to make some money on the side.
Obviously, tornado potatoes.
And the person that kind of put it in my brain was actually a mate of mine named Reese.
Was he a spud farmer?
He was.
That makes sense.
He works at a chicken farm, but he definitely, he's not a spud farmer. But no, he was just talking about it this one day and I was like, that's a pretty decent idea. Yeah. From there, me and my missus were looking like, what else can we do? And we're looking online and we seen this at the Logan markets and it was this tornado potatoes like business for sale.
Okay, right.
It was $5,000 and I was like, $5,000. And when we got there, we looked at it and I was like, $5,000, what am I getting? A little deep fryer and a table and stuff. But the guy kind of sold it to us as like, you're getting the setup, you're getting the stall, the location. Yeah. So I started doing that.
So how big was the stall? Like,
it's just a 3x3 tent, those pop-ups.
Little marquee.
Yeah, little marquee thing. Yeah, like it was just one of those. And we took this thing and within about maybe 4 months of being at the market, the market closed down.
Right.
And we were like, oh no, that's our investment gone. But then we kind of just hustled and we got like Miami Marquetta on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, okay.
So we got in there.
Yeah.
We got in the sanctuary markets. That's it. Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary.
Right.
It's like just beside that.
Okay.
And so I was doing like on a Thursday, I'd leave work, go to the Rockley markets and get potatoes.
Yeah.
Then I'd go and then on the Friday night, Thursday night actually, I'd go and get these strawberries because we were doing chocolate strawberries at the same time as well.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So kind of like it was just those two things.
So hold on. So the chocolate strawberries, were they in the same stall as the tornado potato?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was kind of
obviously with my potato, I want a chocolate covered strawberry.
Yeah. Who wants carbs? You got to have your carbs and your chocolate. But anyways, we did those. So we had the strawberries on the side just to make a bit of money on the side of the potatoes. So it was pretty good. And the markets we'd set up at 12 o'clock on a Friday and I'd work until 10, 12 o'clock at night. We'd be getting home, washing up to start a morning market at about
true.
Like we'd get up at like 4 o'clock and we'd get there and we'd have to be open for 6.
I imagine like it's a beast of burden that way because your main time is only that weekend, you know, when people are out and about. So you just got to just knuckle down and put in the hours.
I was working full time as well. So we were doing that. I was working all through the weekend doing that. Yeah.
Lucky you love tornado potatoes. Hey?
Nacho cheese, mate. You couldn't go past a nacho cheese.
So how many, let's say on a busy Friday night at a busy market, how many spuds could you sell?
It's so hard to say. Like we didn't actually know. Like say for instance, I'd get like a 30 kilo bag of potatoes. Yeah. They're like a palm size.
Yeah.
And so if they were bigger, you'd cut them in half. So we would get so busy. Right. We'd get so busy sometimes with lines that we just wouldn't even take note of the sales we were getting.
So what you're saying is buy a tornado potato stand.
Yeah. Oh, well, look.
It sounds stressful and busy, but it also sounds like great fun.
Well, see, when we did it, like our market stall looked like absolute crap when we first got it. And then we just kind of, like my partner, Kim, she's really savvy when it comes to like graphic design stuff as well. Yeah. So she made up all these cool little designs and everything. Right. And that was really cool. We made it look really, really good. And then we just kept getting offers for different markets. And we were like, we'll take that, we'll take that, and we'll take that. And so, it was just,
so essentially you could have like expanded that. And
wow. Yeah, we could have expanded. We could have had probably, if we wanted to, because like you're not limited to the markets. There's like footy games and like TradeTools events. You know what I mean? Like,
do you ever look back at it as the one that got away or what?
I kind of look back at it now as like it was good times. I did it with my missus, so it was like. You know, we've been together for like 6 years now almost. And so at that point in time when we were doing that, we'd pretty much only been together for like 2 years. And it was like it was a stressful sort of time to be doing that. You're constantly losing your weekends and pumping out work. So looking back on it, I mean, if it was me doing it now, I probably would have just expanded and just got people on and just started doing that. But at that point in time, it was like, enough. It was enough. Like I was like, but... Yeah, no, definitely good business.
So there is money. There's money in potatoes. The Russians haven't even figured that out yet. They're still doing it tough over there. They got more potatoes than anyone.
Yeah, all they got to do is spin them up with a drill. You know how it's done?
No, I don't.
So
tell me.
I'll tell you. So pretty much, we used to use a drill, and so the drill attaches onto this little device.
Okay.
Yeah. That has a blade at the end. So you poke the potato with the stick that it's going to be on.
All right.
You then insert that into a section on the drill, which is this little framed aluminium bent thing.
Yeah.
The end of it has a cutting wheel.
Right.
And you just drill it straight through
and it just feeds it.
And it just feeds it through. And
man, I'm going to have to Google this and have a look.
And then pretty much you just slide the whole potato up to the top. You push the top of the potato to poke onto the end, and then you drag it down. You put it in some butter.
Yum.
And then you deep fry it. And then you just salt it. Like we used to have like salt and vinegar, nacho cheese, chives. You know, like so many good flavors.
The only one I have seen was at a charity event I done with homeless helpers, and they had a machine, a rotisserie machine that made the spiral potatoes. I still didn't eat one. I wanted to, but and it was that like a hand one.
Yeah.
And they just feed the thing on.
Yeah, see, a lot of people do it with the hand one, but
when you're cranking out 50 potatoes an hour.
Well, that's it. We used to do like deals of 3 for 10. So sometimes we'd stuck up with 10 orders for 3 for 10. Yeah. So you're just like bang, bang, bang. And our deep fryer could only handle 3. So at a time, like when it was busy, like there's this one sort of horror story we had was like a Halloween night. Yeah. And we were like, it's gonna be huge. There's gonna be so many people coming. I even got my mum to help me. So I had my mum there serving. Well, it was going so hard with sales. The oil come out the top and just went, just caught on fire.
Oh, shit. I've actually seen a couple of oil fires at markets. Must be from a similar sort of thing. Get going too hard and
you're just like,
up it goes.
Punching them in and then just splashing, and it splashed into the flame. And
you know what? You really learn about people when you see them in front of an oil fire.
Yeah.
It sort of separates the boys from men,
Yeah.
Because you find out really quick how much, people panic. Because an oil fire, it's a hard one to put out.
Yeah.
I've seen people tip water on them. And
that's the worst you could do. Yeah. No, when that fire was going, it was like there was still a huge line.
Yeah.
We just pretty much
just hold on there, guys.
Yeah.
Be with you in a minute. It's got a bit of a situation here.
It was pretty much like that, and my whole thought pattern was just keep it cool. Like I just kept it cool, and we just kept serving after that.
I reckon you could slap 4 tornado potatoes on each finger, on each hand, straight up in the fire. Here you go, you're cooking
keep
more
going. It might as well. I mean, that's how you get going. But no, it was fun times though. But gave that up, and pretty much I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep.
I wanted to make that sort of money still, but I wanted to be able to make it like my missus doing her own thing and me doing my own thing. So it wasn't like it was split between us, because I was like, we are taking home good money, but when the time that we're wasting together, if we could do it separately and make the same amount of money, And so that was when I sort of just said to her, look, we can't do the markets anymore. It's getting too stressful. It's taking up too much of our time. We're so young. We should be, having a bit of fun on the weekends. And then I worked a couple of days with my uncle and we did this floor, and I was like, if he's doing that, and I'm pretty much doing the floor for him, why can't I do that for me?
Right.
So that's when I sort of decided to, because my missus was always saying to me, like, why don't you just do tiling? Like, why don't you start your own tiling business? And I was always like, no, I don't want to do tiling. Like, I don't want to, because the whole stigma around it from my family and just like things like that, I was like, I just don't think
sort of a bit tainted.
I was like, I've always heard, my back hurts, my knees hurt, from my dad, especially. Like,
absolutely.
And I was just like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I did my first job, and I did a couple of jobs here and there, and I was like, wow, like the amount of money that I've just taken home from doing that for myself, I could really, channel this and do something good with it, and actually end up,
It's hard to ignore something that you've developed, over years and years of learning, and you've got this skilled trade sort of lingering there. It's hard to ignore that,
That's kind of where I was at with it. I was like, I'm throwing away this opportunity that I could have because of what I've seen. But I kind of just realized, like, with the markets, there was a lot of people that didn't make it with that sort of stuff. They didn't actually do well. We kind of did well with it. And I was like, well, there's 50-50. There's people saying they hate it, they couldn't make money out of it. There's people that are laughing that have got restaurants now. I've got, mates that I used to work with doing the markets now own Italian restaurants.
For sure.
Shout out to the Italian Kitchen Company.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And things like they've got their own businesses. So I was like, well, when it comes to tiling, if I can just be me, I can do my own work. I can try to make it what I want to make it. Then I could come out on top.
So when you did decide to jump in and go for it, do the tiling, you didn't do an apprenticeship, hey?
No.
Essentially, you got your trade and license with recognition of prior learning.
Yeah. So a lot of people would probably, see that sort of thing and frown upon it. Like,
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because it makes perfect sense. Like,
especially when you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, of course. They should have been, like, recognition of prior learning should have always been a thing. Because, someone that's been, say a labourer in a specific industry for so long, it makes perfect sense that all they have to do is show that they know exactly what they're doing. Boom, off you go, mate, of course. Because, a lot of the labourers are more skilled than some of the young tradesmen. Yeah. They just know it inside out.
Yeah, well, that's right. Like when I decided, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start my business. I was like, well, I can't start a business if I'm not licensed and I'm not qualified. Yeah. Like already I look young enough. People are going, I'm rocking up to jobs. They're like, so where's your boss? I'm like, no, I'm quoting the job.
Where's your dad, young fella?
Yeah. And so, and pretty much what I did was I contacted this company. We went from there, and it was, they came out, they assessed everything that I was doing. It was just a back and forth process. And then I finally got signed off, got all my licensing and everything. And soon as I had my licensing, I was like, oh, it's a huge relief. Like,
for sure.
As soon as you're licensed, it's just like, well, now all this thing, like I've been doing it since I was so young. Now I'm actually being recognized for this.
And you make your own thing of it now. You've got the creative freedom.
And so you're not hiding behind, this, I'm Tyler, but I'm not qualified, you know? So it was really, really good to get qualified sort of mentally as well, just to, because being in, the industry and, when you're trying to take tiling jobs and you can't take anything over 3,300 because of the QBCC, you know what I mean? And so I was like, tippy-toeing around all this stuff and, around the laws and legislations and all that. And I was like, as soon as I got it, it was like this huge weight lifted off my shoulders. Sure. And ever since then, I've really just decided, I'm going to really just try to propel this and try to do the best that I can with it.
For sure, yeah.
So
you'll see if you look on his Insta, guys, at True Vision Tiling, like because you focus mostly on bathrooms, hey?
Yeah, and mainly bathrooms. I kind of like super OCD when it comes to tiling.
Which I think if I was to hire a tiler, I would want them to, really take pride in detail,
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because you see the jobs when people don't, hey, and far out. You would have seen some shockers, eh?
I've seen some bad stuff, man. Like I've been told before, oh, look, this job's ready to go. Come in here, this bathroom. It's been waterproofed, everything.
All waterproofing down,
Go in there and there's not a drop of waterproof on the ground, sometimes they might just do the corners or...
See, that sucks, right? Because essentially that means that customer, because a lot of the time a customer doesn't know much about it. They don't know that waterproofing is this thick grey glue that everywhere, and so they've probably been charged for waterproofing by someone else and, just been taken for a ride.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it. Like generally our customers aren't informed with the process.
For sure.
We're not dealing with builders. We only deal with residential stuff. A lot of our customers, they're just going off your word when you say you're going to do something.
Yeah, it's bad that people take advantage of that, and they do,
And so when I go into a job and I just try to cover my ass with everything, I'm looking at the floor, and if it's not right for waterproof, if there's divots and it's just not good enough to be waterproof, we got to level that floor before we waterproof.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
you can't rely on the waterproof to not fail. As long as you can do the best job you can. But if the job has 30 mil gaps underneath the villa board sheeting to meet the concrete,
like building a mansion on quicksand,
exactly.
If it's not good enough underneath,
well, that's it.
Crumble.
There's a lot of tilers out there that are really, really good tilers, and it comes down to application is everything as well. It's got to because you can do a job and you can look at it and go, wow, this looks fantastic, but it's what's underneath everything.
Oh yeah,
that makes
for sure,
that last,
absolutely, yep.
And so, we really take pride in doing the best that we can. Making sure that, what's on the quote, there's no hidden costs, there's no nothing. We just go, everything is the way it should be up to the standards. And so, being so OCD about the way that we do the tiling and the way that we take the time with, making sure that, for instance, niches they line up with full tiles. There's no cuts around the niches. It's we do our layouts. So we build the niches and everything to set out to the layout of the bathroom and pretty much around door frames and things like that, around windows. We always make sure that our layouts are spot on so that there's minimal cuts around doors, everything like that. And I kind of think that that's the way that, because no matter how good you are at tiling, if you're cutting a tile and this thing's brittle as and it's chipping, you can polish that as much as you want. It's still not going to get rid of the chips of the glaze of the tile. And so pretty much we look at it like if we can eliminate the cuts, as many cuts as possible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you got factory edges everywhere. So the job comes up just looking primo because it's just, there's no cuts and everything's finishing on trim and it looks really, really good. So if you check out my social media, you'll see.
Yeah, you'll see.
We detail all that as well. There's a lot of tilers out there that'll make a bathroom look really, really good, but it's those little tiny things that I like to, really emphasize and do.
Yeah, for sure.
Just take your time on it.
So have you found with your customers, is there a trend of, do most customers get one sort of tile over others? Is there like a popular sort of type?
There's a standard now, like everybody's using 300 by 600.
I was gonna say that. Yeah,
everybody's using those. Like,
would that be better for you because you cover a more square meterage per tile?
Yeah, and so that's like, I mean, like back in the day, it was like the big tiles were like a 450 by 450.
Yeah.
Now we've got 600 by 600. Yeah. We're even going into like 9 by 12s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 9 by 6s and even bigger tiles than that. Like they get pretty
Shit, that'd be better. Just glue the four corners, eh?
Yeah, the four corners. Yeah. Hollow in the middle. Yeah. No coverage.
Man, my tiles at my house, I'm in a rental, you drop something on the tiles, and she's just
the drum,
just hollow, everywhere.
Play the drums on the tiles.
Yep.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of that going around. A lot of people do dodgy stuff, but yeah, no, the tile sizes now, your basic standards are like a 600 by 600 and then a 300 by 600.
Yeah, that's it makes sense, basic. They do look better, I reckon, a larger tile.
Larger tile. And I like larger tiles in bathrooms as well because less cleaning on the grout joins,
For sure,
If there's like thousands of grout joins, that's why those people
remember like back, I don't know what year, it must have been the 80s maybe, 70s, where they used all them tiny tiles.
Yeah. Man. Well, that's actually all coming back in now.
Is it?
It's all coming back into fashion.
Get out of it. Stop
it. So you've got like penny rounds and little hexagon tiles.
Yeah.
All these little tiles now that are coming back in, and
it spins you out. I was sitting there on the toilet and your eyes go all funny because there's so many tiles on the ground. Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, no, they're all coming back into fashion. People are getting like feature walls with just like penny rounds and hexagons.
Now, do they come
in a pre-sheet? Yeah,
with mosaics. It's like meshed together, eh? Yeah, that's right.
Mosaics. Yeah, they come on a sheet and they're pretty easy to lay.
Wouldn't it?
If you were doing them individually, you'd go crazy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Wouldn't there'd be a lot of worry with like with divots in them? Yeah. Wouldn't there? You'd have to. You'd have to have it just perfect.
It has to be really, really, really nice.
That sounds terrible.
If it's on the floor, like you got to make sure your floor is really, really nice and flat. If it's on the walls, it's the same thing. Like where the villa board, joins itself. You've got to really make sure that you're running really nice because you can get out of hand where you can get
for sure
little divots or raised tiles.
Stressful just thinking about it.
It is stressful.
Yes, keep with the big tiles, people.
Yep.
As a customer, hiring a tiler, I'd feel bad. This is what we're doing, and point to a bunch of mosaic. Geez, I'd be like, well, you just doubled your price.
Well, that's pretty much it. The price does go up when you're looking at those mosaics, but it comes down to the fact that there's so much more skill that goes into doing that, and time.
Yep.
Time is everything. So there's you could do a mosaic wall that's a feature wall that takes just the same amount of time as laying all the other three walls in 300 by 600s.
Yep.
So it's just time.
It sort of does make sense, I suppose. Like just a feature wall of it would look pretty cool.
It does look really good.
The whole bathroom though, no, just avoid that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's talk about you. About you as a person, Corey. What do you do in your spare time other than bloody tiling and tornado potatoes?
Tornado potatoes. Look, I got some strange hobbies.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of snakes. You ever
hold on.
Carpet pythons?
Hold on. So actually, actually have like snakes as
pets. Yeah. Okay. I've been.
Wait. When you say a couple, how many?
Look, I've had a lot. Like at one stage when I was living with my dad in a back shed thing, about as big as this.
Yeah.
I had almost 100.
What? Yeah. Get out of it. What for? Why would anyone need 100 snakes?
Oh, mate, don't you just ever think about it? Like getting them around at one time and just have them crawl around?
Yeah, well,
No,
I'm thrown off here.
Yeah, look, it is a weird hobby, but there's so much to it. Like
my old boy was actually a snake catcher.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Wow. He got 2 years ago. He got bitten by a brown twice on the calf, which was ironic because he was a snake catcher.
Yeah,
and
he's all good.
Yeah. They took him there. Luckily it was a big full grown female brown, and just dry fired him warning shots.
Really?
Luckily, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I don't deal with any venomous snakes.
Yeah. For sure.
I love animals. I've always had animals, always running around the backyard, just getting lizards, whatever I could. So I started when I was really young. I used to catch bearded dragons and blue tongue lizards, and I used to keep them.
The exact same story as my old boy. Like when he was a kid, his nan was telling me, his mum was saying he used to do that, catch them, and he kept them in a pool, like this big empty pool, and
that's cool.
He had a pool full of all different reptiles.
Probably eating each other.
Yeah. I think that's probably why he put him in there.
I started off doing that. So I used to have heaps of like blue tongue lizards and bearded dragons and big tanks in the room. Like I've always had a tank in the room, like something like that. But
snakes, eh? Have you ever been shat on by one?
Yeah.
Shocking, eh?
Yeah.
God, I went with the old boy to catch a couple of snakes out of a neighbour's roof when we lived on Macleay Island, and he went up in the manhole and I was waiting down, down in the house, and he's passed the first one down to me. He goes, here, and I've grabbed the first one, waiting for the second one, and the first one sort of curled up around my arm and just shat on my shoulder. And if you've never experienced snake shit, you wouldn't believe it. So it's like dark,
smelly,
black sort of goo. This one was anyway. I don't know how old it was, but it is just the most horrid smell because they don't eat for months at sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's why my missus wants them out of the house. She's not the biggest fan of them, but I've got 14 now. So
do ya 14?
Yeah, I got 14.
Mostly carpets or all different breeds?
They're all carpets, but they're all kind of like different patterns, different colours. So there's a lot of genetics that go into it. I guess like the only way to describe it is there's people out there that breed exotic birds. Yeah. Similar.
Same with, right.
So like there's like.
So do you actually breed them?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah. So I got like different colours and patterns and all different stuff. Like I've actually got my own little.
Have you got any baby snakes at the moment?
At the moment, I've got last year's babies still. I got a few of them.
How big are carpet pythons when they're born?
So they probably come out as like as thick as a pencil and probably around about 30 centimeters.
How cute.
Yeah. And you get like a snake can lay up to like 30 eggs. So
right.
Yeah.
One clutch, I think they call them.
In a clutch, And the majority of those in the wild wouldn't survive. By the time they get out, they're getting off by kookaburras and crows and things like that. So
just what do you do in your spare time? Just breed pythons, mate. What do you do?
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, well, no, it's amazing though how many people like me. I speak to people about it quite often, and people are like, oh yeah, I know this guy's got a snake as well. I know that guy's got a snake. I know a lot of people that have reptiles, but me, I've always been surrounded by it, so I know a lot of people in the industry.
Have you ever? Everyone's probably wondering, and I am too. Have you ever been bitten?
Yeah, I've been
heaps
bitten.
Of times. Yeah.
I've been bitten quite a few times, but probably not as many times as you'd think. Like, one story that was really bad was I had this big breadlie carpet python in a tank, and it was out the back, and I was probably around maybe 16 years old.
Yeah,
and I'm only short, so these tanks were probably almost at the ceiling, and so I'm stepping up on a step ladder, reaching in to go spot clean, crap out of their cage.
Yeah,
I've gone and reached in, and when I've reached in, this massive 10-foot breadlie carpet python has just smashed me on the hand.
Because they got nasty teeth too, eh?
Oh, they got like 2 rows on the top and then another 2 on the bottom. And so it smashed my hand, wrapped me up around my neck.
Did it?
Come flying out of the cage.
Oh, no way.
And I was like...
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. I told you. I told you this is how it was going to end, and here we are.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was there was blood everywhere. This thing was just latched onto my hand. Yeah. Just wrapping.
So it held onto your hand and then started
just started curling me. Yeah. And it got around my arm, sort of up around my under my armpit, around my neck. And I'm
keen snake, like You know, you're 16, but you're not a small lad. Like, come on. Who are you kidding, Snake?
This thing was pretty big too. Like it would have been about 5-6 kilos.
Strong bastards, eh?
And I just was yelling out to my dad. He's like, "Oh shit, son, what do I do? What do I do?" And I'm just like, "Get me a bucket of water." And he's just ran in, got a bucket of water, and I've just dunked his head into this bucket of water because that's the only way you can get him off.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to let go themselves. Like, pretty much. As soon as they've got you, if it's a food response bite, they're on you. They want to eat you. So they'll do what it takes. And, you know, and the more that you go to try to pull it off, the more it sort of clamps
like
down.
a Chinese finger trap, mate. Yeah, the harder you struggle.
They're trying to cut your airway off, you know. Yeah. They're trying to stop you from breathing.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. Squeeze on, and then every time you breathe out, whoop, they tighten it up. Tighten it up.
That's right. And so, I just dunked its head in some water. Like, I know a lot of people probably use like methylated spirits. You spray it just a little bit, and then they just release instantly.
Yeah, I bet.
I didn't know that at the time.
If I'm buying you and you spray me in the face with methyl, I'm out of there too.
Yeah. And so this thing's got its head in the water, and then it lets go. And as soon as it let go, it was still wrapped around me though. Yeah. It's just its head was off, and I got a pillow and put it straight in front of it, grabbed the pillow and wrapped up the pillow. Right. And then I just chucked it back in its cage, and I didn't keep that snake for long after that.
Do you walk around with a big Bowie knife on your belt too?
No.
You should.
No. Yeah, I probably should. Yeah, I used to have knives like sitting around just in case.
Yeah.
Because if you ever by yourself, like...
Yeah, you could be in strife.
Well, if my dad wasn't there to save me, I could have just... It could have got up around my neck and that would have been it.
Yeah, for sure.
So...
Well, like, look, let's be honest. No one really looks at snake handling as a safe profession. You know, it's riddled with
carpet pythons are quite safe.
Riddled with risks. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, carpet pythons are safe until they get big enough to squeeze you to death. I suppose.
Yep.
I was hoping, you know, when you said snakes, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if he's had any run-ins with them. And kind of. You know, nearly died or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Snakes. What else is going on in your life? Jeez.
Snakes is probably the most crazy thing that is in my life. I mean, other than that, hobby-wise, I used to really like BMX bikes and going out doing BMX, motorbikes, just little thumpsters. Little thumpsters, E-Day ones, Assassins. Yeah, heard of those?
Little Chinese ones.
The little Chinese ones.
Good fun. Dangerous, eh?
Really,
so dangerous because your centre of gravity is so far off on thumpsters, just way too top heavy.
Yeah, and they're definitely not built to do anything serious.
No. Good fun watching blokes. Like if you're out on a big grass paddock and just crashing them, you know your mates are going to crash. Yeah, go mate, hook in.
Yeah. I've had a stack on that before.
Yep, same here.
It's good.
So, life wins. For lack of a better term, what have you achieved other than escaping the snakes' grasp?
Escaping the snakes. Look, I'd probably say my biggest accomplishment so far, life wins, would be owning a house, like buying a house.
Yes, right.
So me and my missus bought a house pretty much from the Tornado Potatoes, just doing that.
Get out of it.
Yeah.
Really?
We bought a house at like, I think she was 20, I was 21. It was on my 20th.
Wow.
I think it's settled on my 21st birthday.
There you go. That's really good, eh?
Yeah, so that's probably my biggest accomplishment. I mean, also having the business as well, and it starting to see some success.
So if there's any older listeners out there thinking to themselves right now, what am I doing with my life? Don't worry, you're not alone. Bloody hell, that's awesome.
It's just how things kind of lined up, you know. It wasn't like it was sort of. I've always hustled to try to be like, oh yeah, I want to buy a house and stuff, but it was never like a major plan, you know. It wasn't something that.
So I'm googling tornado potatoes. I'm in.
Yeah. Well, look, I just did a job just recently where the lady's son, he was speaking to me and he was telling me that he was studying something to do with hospitality.
Yeah, right.
And I was kind of telling him the story about the tornado potatoes, and I said, look, if you want the store, mate, come by my house and pick it up. And And he sort of thought about it. He's, yeah. And then he must have been speaking to his mum. His mum calls me and says, we're really interested in buying this stall off you. And I said, don't worry about buying it. Just come and get it.
That's
it's
awesome.
It's been there for a few years.
Yeah. Conditions apply.
Conditions apply.
If you make a mint.
Yeah.
Which he will apparently. Bloody hell.
He sent me a couple of photos of like what he's done so far, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, cool. So he's out there, keeping the dream alive.
It's my little baby. It's just taken off. It's gone and flight on its own.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Where does he set up? I'll have to go and try one day. We'll have to whip out the tornado potatoes at a TradeTools one day.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I'll come down and I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll
for sure.
Yeah, set it up and do it. I'm just craving a salt and vinegar one. You got to have one.
Man, since you said salt and vinegar, I've been thinking about it. And the nacho cheese one.
Nacho cheese and salt and vinegar, definitely my favorite. We used to have return clients, man, every single week.
I bet.
It was the same people. We'd see the same families come up every week, the same order. I'd just be like, yep, I already know what theirs is.
Yeah, right. There
2 salt and vinegars, yeah.
I'm going to actively look for spiral potatoes to eat now just to try them.
Yeah, hopefully after this, the market's not too flooded now. Tornado potatoes.
People, there'll be stalls popping up everywhere.
You just see little corner stores selling them.
Just, it's a gold mine waiting.
Well, it's cheap because the potatoes are cheap.
Yeah.
But definitely buying the house, that was the biggest accomplishment. And then other than that, starting the business, seeing the success that it's kind of had so far, and just now is just kind of like trying to make it actually continue to work, you know? Because sometimes like you get to a stage where everything's going so good and you look at it and you're like, well, is that going to last next year? Is that going to be the same next year? And so it's kind of just getting over around those hurdles.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's seems to be life, mate. It's always, you can spend a lot of time worrying about whether or not something's going to work, or if you're doing the right thing, or you know, it can consume you, it can chew you up and spit you out if you get caught up in it. Best to just hook in and see how it goes. Yeah, play by ear, mate.
It's kind of how I've always done it. I've always just been like, just take your opportunity and just run with it. That's kind of everything so far. Like, I haven't had too many crazy losses, you know, when it comes to the things that we've done, because
touch wood, mate.
Yeah, touch wood. Just getting out of things at the right time, or like with the markets, you know, a lot of people probably could have considered that as a loss when I got out of it, when it was booming, you know, like it was doing so well, but it's, you know, when the time.
But if it's taking a toll on your, you know, on your mental health and stressing you out too much, then there's no point enduring stress for monetary gain.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You know, exactly. Not worth it,
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, let's do a quick bit of tool talk, because essentially that's kind of what this podcast is about, you know, tools. Yeah. Because it's sponsored by TradeTools, obviously. What tools do you run?
So Metabo is like my main.
Right.
I'm trying to
As
go.
a German.
Yeah, and just I'm trying to get. I want all my tools to be cordless. Like I'd really like for everything to be cordless.
What tools do you still use that are corded?
It's just pretty much Milwaukee grinders at the moment.
Right.
Those, just for like buffing discs, and just your standard grinder. But I've actually just picked up a Metabo cordless grinder.
Yes.
And so I'm going to give that a go and see how that goes.
Grinders are like, they're Metabos, you know, that's what they're famous for, Their grinders are.
Well, this one's brushless, and I'm looking to rip into that because it's so handy having cordless tools.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to take it anywhere. Like, for instance, you're working upstairs in a building or something, and you need to run up there quickly to buff a tile or whatever, and it's on a cord, man. It's so much easier. Or mixing glue, if you can just quickly mix a bucket upstairs while you're in the bathroom, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Doing that, it's really good. So I'm using that, mainly using Metabo. I've just got a high Koki drill. So I've got that. Really looking forward to ripping that in, but I mainly use that for like resheeting walls and things like that. So,
righto.
You know, putting up filler board, putting up blue board, and all that sort of stuff.
What about trowels and stuff?
Trowels, I'm using pretty much the National Tiles ones. So I'm using those, which is
do you know we stock trowels?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Like, I'm not joking. We actually do. Yeah.
That's
we
crazy.
have as of earlier this year, we got Goldblatt trowels and stuff in. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they stainless?
Yeah, they're proper trade trowels and stuff. Yeah,
wow.
Goldblatt.
Yeah. Well, now that I know, I guess I'm going to have to switch over.
Exactly how I wanted you to respond to that.
Yeah. Looks like I'm switching over.
Goldblatt, mate.
give it a bit of a run.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, well, they're all pretty similar, but I guess.
What do they call them trowels with all the notches for the
notch trowel?
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's called.
There you go. That couldn't have worked any better. Notch trowel.
No, there's that's awesome that you stock that because I mean it's close for me to be able to go down to the Narang store there and get those as well. Yeah. I'm always going through them because sometimes I get beaten up in the toolbox.
Rough on gear, mate.
Not me. It's the boys. No.
Yeah. The boys. So you've you got people working for you for the company?
I've got we've only just recently started trying to really seriously hire people. Every now and then I've had people come and go, but it's to the point where I'm like, well, I really can't do this all on my own. So I've got a guy full-time. One guy on full-time is a fully qualified tiler.
Right.
Then I've got about 4 subbies that I've jumped between.
Right. So how work. For people listening, right, that are business owners themselves, and in my mind, I'm thinking of Casey, right, because from Meredith Metalworks, he still mans the ship on his own sort of thing, and I know he's been thinking about employing someone, but what would you recommend for people to do? Like how did you source your worker?
Look, it was so hard. Like it was so hard to find somebody. The guy that I've got on now, Jacob, he's a gun.
Yeah, right.
Like this full-time guy. The other guys that are on subbies, they're good, but you can't rely on your subbies too much because of the fact that they got other work to do as well.
Yeah.
They're not just working for you.
Right.
But to go to the lengths of putting somebody on full-time and, paying, sick leave and all that sort of stuff, it's scary for a business because it's such a commitment.
So how did you actually do it? Did you have someone...
I got him actually through the tiling pages on Facebook, and I pretty much put an ad up there, but I put ads up on Seek. I've put ads up, all over, trying to find somebody, but it was really finding somebody with that, the same eye for detail as what you have. And so I'm sure anybody that is looking to hire somebody, that's pretty much what they want. They want somebody that's going to do it the way that they do it.
For sure,
and so
because essentially you're handing out the responsibility of your company to another individual.
And that's the hardest thing to let go of when you are running your business because
you wouldn't think anyone could take it. It couldn't mean as much to anyone, be as important to anyone more than it is to you sort of thing.
That's right. And, you go through people and you've got to get rid of that mindset as well of you've got to completely run everything because you've got to kind of give that responsibility to the guys as well and just go, look, it's out of my hands. When they're there on site, they're doing what they're doing. You have to trust in them as well.
For sure.
And so if you find somebody that's right, you find somebody that puts the amount of effort in that you would for the business and that, and I guess nobody's ever going to put as much effort as what you do being a business owner. But as long as they've got that eye for detail, like knowing that they're going to show up, knowing that they're going to do what they are meant to be doing and just trusting in them, that's the biggest thing that I've found, being able to find people, but it has been hard. It was difficult. It's still difficult. Sure. Still trying to expand now, still trying to find more guys full time. But it's just, it's sieving through a lot of, applicants and
candidates and Well, that's pretty good advice actually, mate. It would be difficult to allow someone to, carry the name, or it'd just be scary, eh? I hope this doesn't shoot me in the foot, eh?
And there's a lot of stuff that you don't see. So like, for instance, you're not on site, they are on site, they're doing their job. By the time you get there to, make sure that it's going the way that it's going, especially with tiling, how do you know how much glue they've put behind the tile? How do you know how much is this? And it's and
that's where the
you have to trust in them, but you do have to set your guidelines.
Oh, for sure. So
I'm always telling them. I'll pull them up on things. That's not right. That's not how I want it there. But I never ring in their ear. I'm always being like, you're doing an excellent job here. Like, generally tilers, there's a lot of good tilers out there. There is a lot of crap tilers out there. But when they are good, generally there's only a couple of things that they might need to tighten up on. Where it's they're not doing this the right way or they're not doing that the right way. And it's kind of just tweaking to the way that you want it for
and that's the business. Same with, with sort of every industry, I suppose, or going from one company to another maybe would be a better example. Each company might like things done a certain way, just a bit different to another, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, no, it's Once they learn though, like at the moment we can get almost 3 bathrooms done in a week.
Oh, right. Yeah, cool.
So with what we're doing, we can crank them out, but we're still able to keep that quality exactly where I want it to be.
Excellent.
And that was where at the start when I was sieving through guys, I was like, if I can't get anybody to help me do this and actually do what I need them to do, the quality that I need to do, I don't know how I'm going to expand. Like it was a stressful time. Yeah. As soon as I found that person, it's like weight off your shoulders because you can rely on them.
And it sort of shows you that there is people there for, so if you got one, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. And that was like where I was at that point. I was like, lucky I found one really good guy. So I'm like, if I found one really good guy, there's definitely going to be more. So it gives you that hope,
Yep.
But I guess, there's a demand for tilers out there. There's such a demand because of the fact that there is so many, I guess, dodgy tilers out there.
Yep.
The demand is really high for good tilers. So there's quite a lot of work in the tiling industry. There's heaps.
It's sort of it seems to be a trade that's overlooked a lot. Like a lot of trades are. They're just sort of overlooked. People just sort of focus on the bigger, more widely known ones like, Chippy, Sparky, Plumber and all that stuff. But there's like brickies. You can make a fortune bricklaying.
Yeah. It's everybody, like when I was in school and all my mates and stuff, they're going off and doing plumbing apprenticeships and Sparky apprenticeships because those are the two, everybody's
trying to get into. Yeah.
Big money in that hourly.
But it's only big money while, supply and demand sort of.
Exactly.
Once the market floods with more and more and more tradies, then that big money becomes spread out amongst it. It's just economics 101, isn't it?
Everybody's just trying to fight for their little scrap. But now, when it comes to, tiling and bricklaying, things
so
like
what we should be saying is tiling's terrible. You make no money in tiling.
You won't make any money.
Don't go in there.
It's bad on your back. It's bad on your knees.
Yeah, if you're already a tiler, probably quit too.
Yeah, especially on the Gold Coast.
Well, let's do these. We got the rapid fires, but they're pretty loosey-goosey now. So our first one is always ute or van. What do you run?
Ute.
Do you? Ute?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of expected you to be a van man for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Vans are good, and I probably would go more into a van. It's just tiling. You can't get sand and cement into the back of these vans.
Oh, true. True. I didn't even think of that.
You can't load anything into the back. I do know a lot of guys that run vans though.
Yeah, righto. Yeah. I kind of feel silly for asking that now. Also, food habits. Healthy wrap and salad or the old pie and sausage roll, mate.
Oh, look, I'd like to say probably the salad, but more of a pie and sausage roll for the person.
Yeah, see, you wouldn't get much time to eat through the day, would you?
I don't even eat. I generally don't eat breakfast because I just never really got into breakfast.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same. Like you wake up. I think because I have a coffee straight away, and that sort of snuffs the appetite, and then before you know it, I'm sitting in front of the computer, hangry, kicking myself for not eating. Yeah, but you go right through the day.
Yeah, I go right. I pretty much go right through the day. Like, see, because we start really early, so we kind of finish at early,
mid-afternoon sort of time.
We generally we will put in a big day. When we have to get things done, finish 5-6 o'clock. But if I'll wake up in the morning, won't eat anything at like lunchtime. Yeah, and then I'll probably eat at like 2 o'clock. And then I'll eat it again at lunchtime, at dinner time.
And then after
that as well. So
I do that a lot of days too, when you're sort of just too distracted by everything.
It's kind of just that there's like a window. I feel like when I sit down to eat lunch, especially like tiling, you're so physical. You're constantly moving, you're constantly lifting buckets, you're constantly doing things. Yeah. When I'm doing that, if I sit down and I eat something, I'm like shut off for the day. I'm just like, man, I can't even get up.
Yeah, it does, tactical starvation every day, you reckon?
Yep. Well, I'm not dead yet, so.
If I didn't eat until mid-afternoon every day, I'd be the grumpiest piece of shit by the time I ate. I get so angry when I'm hungry.
So used to it now. Like I've just worked for people before where it was like no lunch. I know it's probably it's a bad thing, but
I've had it too. It's just push, flat out. Yep.
You've always got to get the jobs done.
It's a quick way to have workers turn on bosses. Yep. And as soon as they make the whole team work through lunch once or twice, of course we're busy, but when it becomes a habit, and all of a sudden the boss seems to realise, this is getting really productive. But no, it's not because everyone's turning on you. Don't stand between a man and his food for God's sake. Well, is there anything else Anything else you want to talk about, mate? Anything you feel like we're missing?
Look, I think we've pretty much touched on it.
To be honest, I think 56 minutes is long enough, I reckon.
I think we've touched on pretty much everything. I pretty much told you my whole life story.
Yeah. Well, I learned some things about you that I had no idea, and I'm sure most people don't.
Yeah. It's wild. There's
tornado potatoes, snakes, all sorts going on. Yeah. Love it.
No, it's a crazy story, but it worked.
Absolutely.
It's all done what it's done.
Yeah.
Hopefully to continue and
for sure. I reckon we should get back into the spuds, mate. I'll be up for that.
Oh, mate, if you want to do it with me, it's pretty straightforward.
Let's do it.
It's pretty straightforward.
Tornado potatoes.
You guys can supply the drills. We can just have multiple going.
This is already making perfect sense, mate.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you Friday night at the market.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Miami Marquetta will be there.
Excellent. All right, cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much.
Well, there we have it. Another episode wrapped up, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback, and you can email me at tradio@tradetools.com or message the TradeTools social pages with any topics you'd like to hear about. And of course, be sure to hit the subscribe button to keep up to date. Until the next episode, see ya!